funky Fort Worth with
Funky, it's family.
Yeah, they say funky town, and we have with us Miss Pam Grier. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me tell you, I have to tell you that I have a problem with you.
You do. Well, let's hear it. The Dr. Grier is here to help you with your problem.
I have, I put out on Facebook, I have all of these friends and
tweet
fans
too,
and everything, and tell them that I'm going to be here with you. People who I never hear from, men,
right,
have been contacting me.
Oh, fantastic. Get a sofa out of it, and you'll have no more problems.
No more problems?
Get your car washed, get a new car tires, go on vacation.
Well, but they're asking me questions like, are you married?
No, but I'm still looking.
Oh, but I didn't tell them that.
Well, work it, girl.
But next time I'll say, but we are looking.
Work it, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm always looking for it. But, I will do my due diligence on them as well.
And I heard about that. We'll talk about that, too. And then they want to know, they said, is this a recent picture? And I said, well, yes. The one picture I put on Facebook was from last year.
Right.
And so they said, oh my gosh. And then I start getting little instant messages telling me little stories about every man has a Pam Grier story.
And some of them said that he'd been married to me and that we used to date. And, I said, oh, really? Okay, it's interesting. Was it good? Obviously not. I haven't seen you in a while. So anyway.
Exactly. We're glad to have you here with us.
Thank you.
And we could talk about so many things, and I know you have a book. Actually, I saw you at the Delta Convention in New Orleans.
Right, yes. My sorrow sisters.
Yeah, there was a long line for you, for Nikki Giovanni.
I love my Nikki.
And Ambassador Andrew Young.
Yes.
I remember, I think he stopped you to
take
a picture. And you've been doing a lot. You've been doing television, radio, everything. And I love the message of health. I love a message of health because I was in Senegal last month, and one thing I saw, they were health conscious.
The whole world is health conscious. For example, I shot a film in China with Rissa from the Wu-Tang Clan, who's directing a film. And in China, they don't wear their shoes into the supermarket. They take their shoes off outside and they put on these socks, disposable socks, to go into the market for purity. Come on now, we can learn from other cultures.
And what about here? I saw people, now picture this scene on the beach. There was the Atlantic Ocean, and it was around 6 in the evening, and there were thousands of people out there. And you think about the thousands of black people on a beach in America, what would they be doing? There would be the music playing, the hookups, the dancing, rapping,
right,
all of that.
Networking.
They
Predominantly.
were exercising. They were exercising in Senegal.
Like a Tai Chi.
And I said, look at that. I said, we could learn from this, because people say, oh, they don't weigh a lot of, they're poor or whatever.
They're not poor. They're spiritually rich.
Right.
Well, it's all relative as to who is poor and who isn't.
But we need to get to a point, and so when we talk about a fresh garden, when we talk about moving our people to eating healthier things, and
that's soul food.
But we look at some of the foods we eat, we say, oh, this is what we grew up on, but let's go way back, and we grew up on natural stuff.
Natural stuff. My grandparents were from Wyoming, and their food was just pure, and they all lived over 100, and they didn't have the cancers, and they didn't have, all of the elements, the malaise that they have today. They just didn't have it, and they worked out in the hot sun all day, and there was no skin cancer.
Right.
Their water was from a well that was pure. I have on my ranch, I have my own well water, and it's very, very pure. The horses drink it all day, and they love it. People come out, and when Snoop Dogg exhibit and Dre were on tour, they came out and they were drinking the water, and they said, man, what is this? This is really good water. It didn't have chlorine and fluoride and all of the elements of urban living, because the water sits in the pipe, so you have to have chemicals to keep it clean, as opposed to everyone being, hooked to a underground water reservoir, and water is brought up within seconds and filtered and pure. So there's a difference, and I think as we are addressing healthcare, and we're addressing how can we minimize, and not pull so much out of Medicare and the healthcare, and be pure and cleaner and eating cleaner. And spiritually, I think it affects us, because when you eat with purity, you feel better and you want to move. You want to exercise, and when you exercise and move your body, you want to eat better, and then you're eating pure food. So there's this cycle, and diabetes will be, reduced, and obesity.
Tremendously, right.
And I think once they learn how to, we know how to season. If we don't have any food with, we have spices in our pockets.
Right.
Seasoned vegetables, and out at the garden we'll have chefs from restaurants come out and give cooking classes, and learning how to fry chicken with olive oil as opposed to fatty oils that are not good for you. There's a difference. And when you taste your fried chicken or smothered chicken or any sauteed vegetables in garlic and onions and olive oil and tomatoes and stuff, you go, you know what, and it's healthy too. I can eat this all day, and it costs me a nickel as opposed to $5.
Right.
You can make your tomato sauces with 12 tomatoes, red tomatoes that smell and look and taste like tomatoes, not that it's been on a truck fumigating and ripening for 3 weeks while it went from farm to your table, and then you pay for the diesel price of shipping it, as opposed to stopping off at your community garden and picking up on the way home green beans that snap, fresh produce that snap, and take it home every day. Just pull it, and then say hello to your neighbors, have a little iced tea, see what's going on, roll up your sleeve, come back. It's a phenomenon that's happening across the country, a community garden. When they say commune, it's really community. And it's a spirituality as well, because the taste, when you taste what community is, and you taste what a purity is, you taste what your spirituality is, because your self-esteem is earned since you're a child. That's you whether you get a degree, you study, you read a book, you feel good about finishing that, and you stand taller. And when you see that you have been growing fabulous produce in a garden, and then walking over to the museum,
right,
the Multicultural Western Museum that'll be right next door to it, that's a feast for your soul.
Yeah, and that's so important, because when you talk about a community garden, it will become so much more, because it will start as a gathering place and people getting food, but then they'll get information as
from
well.
each other. There'll be books, a gift shop, but they can also have cooking contests. They can trade recipes, because when you have a zucchini bread, or carrot cake, it's just, you've never had anything like it, and it's fresh, within hours. That is magic, the taste.
Well, that sounds good. It's making me hungry right here now. In case you're just joining us,
Are you a cook? Are you a cook?
I'm a baker more than a cook.
Well, that's to say, there was a baker from scratch.
Right.
So is my family. Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. And I learned how to do sweet potato pies when I was
Oh yeah.
I was in
And
sixth
sweet
grade.
potato fries.
Oh yes, but I don't put sugar on mine. They put sugar.
You don't
on
have to
theirs.
put sugar. They're already sweet inside.
Yeah.
The heat brings the sweetness out, and you just toss them with the cinnamon and nutmeg. But look at you make a berry pie out of whole wheat crust instead of refined flour, white flour. Make it out of whole wheat. It has a nuttier flavor, a nice texture to it, and you put in, say, rhubarb and strawberries with honey. Toss that with a little lemon, put that in, and bake that in a pie. Caloric, not even an eighth.
We're going to get more than that when we come back. That sounds good. I'm getting hungry. We're live here at National
Cultural Western Heritage Museum.
Right, with Ms. Pam Grier. We're going to talk about a lot of things. I want to talk about more about health and about cooking, about, we have to talk about the movies you've done and the awards you've been nominated for and everything. And you're Dr. Pam, because you
Maryland University Eastern Shore.
Maryland Eastern Shore,
yeah.
And we have
a doctorate of humane letters.
Of a good one.
Sure.
We have a community garden at a historically black college in Dallas, Paul Quinn College. And, and I would see the students coming back, and they would seem so proud to have their little bag with their items in there from getting fresh vegetables. And we need to talk about that, because folks are the children. We talk about, oh, they're so cute and fat. No, cute and fat aren't.
That is not
together.
Healthy.
But we're going to go to this quick break, and we will be right back with Miss Pam Grier.